Hi everyone, this is Brenda and I am with Activate by Brenda Lee, and I'm going to talk to you today about food. Food is medicine, food is fuel. It is perhaps one of the most important things of our health. You're either fueling your body to be healthy or to cause disease. So I'm going to talk to you a lot about a lot of different things with nutrition, and I'll try not to overwhelm you, but there's a lot to say. So thank you for joining me, and please let me know if you have any questions. If you don't make time to be truly well, you will undoubtedly be forced to make time to be sick. And I know which I would rather be. You don't want to have a life of not eating well, not taking care of yourself, and then getting sick, and then it's too late at that point. I went through that with my parents, and it was, it's very sad when it gets to that point. So you want to do prevention as much as you can. You can't always prevent everything from happening, but you can actually really change, your outcomes and things that could happen by what you put in your body. So really think about what you're eating and get that strong why reason and get motivated, and you can do it. Food is information. Every bite you take either helps prevent disease or causes disease. So seriously, think of it as fueling your body. Your body is your most precious thing that you own, so take good care of it. Crap food, toxins, stress are all going to deplete your nutrients, increase stress on the body and your mind, digestion problems, metabolism, and detoxification problems as well. So in order for your body to function optimally, you really need to feed it well. So the key is having minimally processed foods. I know when I started doing this about 12 years ago, it was the eat clean diet. That was the big thing, Toscarino. So, pure, natural, whole foods. If you eat a lot of highly processed foods, they do not satisfy you and they do not fill you up. You could eat, like if it was me, I could eat a whole box of low-fat cookies or something and then still feel hungry and not even know that did I even eat those? No, I've done that before. On the way home from Costco, you get these great big bags of things, and when you're driving and eating, which you should never do, seriously, they taste really great and maybe a stress reliever, but does not satisfy your body. So, and if you do feel like snacking all the time, then you are not getting enough protein. Protein will fill you up. So, also, it's really important to drink 8 to 10 glasses of water per day too. Every part of every cell in your body, your muscles, are all full of water, and you need water to make your body function optimally as well. Sometimes you might have a headache, and it's just because you don't have enough water, you're dehydrated. So also, we are designed to go long periods without food because we burn stored fat. So as long as you have some fat on your body, you can go, and I'll talk about time restricted eating later too. So you're not gonna blow away if you miss a meal. It's kind of like just the culture we have that we eat every few hours. 60% of Americans eat fast food at least once weekly. 20%, it's actually a daily event. It just is a very big habit, and it's a convenience, and it's pretty common. So examples of whole versus broken food. So whole foods are, of course, the ones that have a mother, they come from the ground. The whole foods, vegetables, fruits, meat, nuts, seeds, water, coffee, and tea is good as well. And then broken foods are going to be things that are processed, soda, trans fats, processed foods, sugar items, even artificial sweeteners, and white flour. White flour, white sugar, stay away from the whites. That's a good rule of thumb as well. Insulin resistance is a huge problem these days. It is the most common health disorder worldwide, especially here in the United States. And we're thinking, that's why there's a lot of the COVID-19 problem here, because so many of us in the United States are metabolically unhealthy. Metabolic health definition is fasting blood sugar. It looks at your fasting blood sugar, which is usually high, hemoglobin A1C, blood pressure, triglycerides, HDL, cholesterol, and waist circumference. So if you do decide to eat a low-carb diet, that will help insulin resistance because it's usually caused by sugar. So if you have a high-carb diet, eat a lot of processed foods, constantly you're eating, you're always spiking your blood sugar, it's not good because when your blood sugar goes up, your insulin goes up. We also will have damaged fat consumption because we eat a lot of vegetable oils because we were told years ago that that was heart healthy, and that's what they use a lot in restaurants and a lot of our foods that we eat. When your gut is upset, you have more insulin resistance, and then your adrenals, they just get wore out. And all of that is going to contribute to your blood sugar. So many people haven't even heard of insulin resistance or metabolic health, and they don't even know it, but they have it. So, and even you can be a normal weight, you can look great, but inside you can have insulin resistance. So it's really important to educate people about it and to be aware. It's a big cause of type 3 diabetes, which is Alzheimer's disease. I've just read another study today that they're linking it, to insulin resistance. And there's no treatment for Alzheimer's, and we do not want to have that. So if you can prevent that by having a lower sugar and better control of insulin in your life, then that is great. And they say Alzheimer's disease usually starts several decades before you actually get diagnosed with it. So 40s, 50s, sometimes even the 30s, it can start, some of the, the problems can start happening. So also, if you have type 2 diabetes, you're at higher risk from complications from immune disorders. If you're admitted to the hospital with COVID-19 and your blood sugar is elevated, your chances of survival are much lower than if it's normal when you come in. So that's something they're really correlating. So we even put CGMs on the COVID-19 patients at the hospital where I worked so we could monitor it. Earliest signs of blood sugar issues is you get hangry, you have anger, and you have to eat. You might be grumpy, and that's when you go and make those bad choices because you're so hungry. So we've all been there. When you eat a lot of sugar, your blood sugar goes up and then it goes back down, and that's when you have to have it. Like if you have one donut and it's like so good, and then you enjoy it, and then you want another one. You want another one. I get addicted to sweets. If I start, it's hard to stop. So a lot of people will say that. So anyway, but if you get shakiness, irritability, heart palpitations, then you may be having some blood sugar issues. And then, it just is hard to resist eating another cookie or another donut then because you want to feel better. So anyway, look for those symptoms. CGMs, or continuous glucose monitors. I'm a huge fan of these. I've worn one. There I have it in my picture. And I had a client that just got one too. And so we were she became one of the cool kids wearing those. It's not just for diabetics, but that's what it's been designed for. They do have a lot of monitors out now that are designed just for people like me that like to see where their blood sugar is and with metabolic health. NutriSense is one of them, and there's a couple other ones that are just coming out testing right now. I use the Freestyle Libra. It has to be prescribed, so I call it into a pharmacy, and you wear it for 2 weeks, and it will constantly monitor your blood sugar. You can get an app on your phone that's free, and you just hold it over your sensor, and it'll read your blood sugar. It's super cool because you get a 24-hour reading of your blood sugar, not just whenever you stop and check it. And plus you don't have to prick your finger. That's really nice. It says a really tiny little needle on there and stays on for 2 weeks. So anyway, if you're non-diabetic, the blood sugar should be between 70 and 130. If you eat something and it makes it go up to 140 or more, you might want to stay away from that food. And it did change my eating habits because when I wore one for quite a long time. When I ate the Kirkland bars that are kind of like Quest bars that are protein bars, really high in protein. So I have always loved them. But I had one of those and my blood sugar went up to like 140. And I was looking at it, and it has a lot of ingredients, so it's very processed. It also has erythritol in it. So I'm not sure if that's why, but I changed the protein bars I eat because of this. So now I will do RX bars or Kind bars, or even better. So even if you swap, for a lower protein one, which is hard for me to do because I like my protein, but 12 grams of protein in those RX bars, so it's half as much protein, but it's more natural, only has 4 ingredients, and so it doesn't make my blood sugar go up. Also, I like Premier protein shakes, and those are really high in protein, but they also are very processed and they are shelf stable. So that made my blood sugar go up too. So, but if I have a whey protein shake that I mix with powder and with almond milk and ice or whatever, and even some fruit, it doesn't go as high. So it's really interesting. But everybody may be different. Maybe it wouldn't affect you that way, but it's really cool to learn those things. And then if you have rice, or you have oatmeal, those are common things that make it really go up. So if you have a lower carb, moderate high protein, higher fat diet, then your blood sugar is going to stay more steady and you won't have the ups and downs, and you just feel better when it stays steady. So it's really interesting. And of course, you're going to lower your infectious risk. You're going to just be healthier. You're going to be able to lose body fat because your insulin's not going up all the time. And you will have better luck with gaining muscle and everything too, and just feel better. So my mind is more clear too when my blood sugar is in a normal range or low and steady. So the CGM proves that you need to be eating Stone Age food, less processing. I've really become a believer in that. So it is a great mindfulness tool as well. So the benefits of a CGM, it's just a really great preventative tool. And you learn a lot about the foods. Like that one in the picture, that's what the app looks like. It's called the Freestyle Libra app, which is a free app you can on your phone. If the arrow is going up like that, that means your blood sugar is rising. Sometimes it'll go straight up as an arrow. That means it's rising fast. I had that when I had a margarita once, a really small margarita with ice in it at the pool. Made it go up to like 180, so it was crazy. So anyway, you can note how when you're sleeping, if you don't sleep well, your blood sugar may be high. If you're going through stress, you will have a higher blood sugar, depending on what time you eat, you're snacking. So it's really interesting, and it's a great thing because sometimes maybe you will like, oh, I'm not going to eat that. That's going to make my blood sugar go up. And so, especially when you're watching it on the monitor, it's pretty cool. And if you eat your non-starchy veggies first, have protein and fat next, and then have your more carbohydrates last, like if you have potato or something, then the spike will not go up as high from the blood sugar from those carbs. So it's pretty interesting to see. Whole foods are what you need to eat, which are what Mother Nature created. Something that your great grandmother could have eaten, something from the good old days when we didn't have as much like artificial things put in our food. They didn't add the colors, and it was more just whole food. People cooked more too, which is really important to cook at home and not be eating out all the time, because they do put a lot of things in our food at restaurants too. So a variety of food is best. Don't eat like chicken like 3 times a day, or mix it up, and it's better for you. It just makes it more fun when you don't have the same thing all the time anyway. Beef, pork, chicken, fish, for protein for the best results. You do get leucine, like the amount of leucine that you get from like a 30 grams of a chicken breast would be the same. To get that amount from like quinoa, you would have to have 6 cups of it, and that can be like kind of metabolically devastating when you have that much quinoa. That's a lot of carbs. So anyway, it's a good idea to try to eat more beef and chicken and those kind of things. Let's see. So read your ingredients. If there's a lot of things on there that you've never heard of, then it probably isn't, So you just kind of have to be a detective, and it takes a longer time to grocery shop because I'm reading labels, and then you compare, It's hard to find things that are exactly, you just have to weigh the risks. Do I want PUFAs, or do I want lower sugar, or higher fat? It's just crazy, kind of individual, but do the best you can. That's all we can do. Convenience is usually unhealthy, but I know sometimes you have to, it's just like the only option, or, it's just, you can't deprive yourself completely. too. So, but if you have you don't have the nutrient foods, you're going to have, of course, the belly fat, the weight gain, inflammation, and end up with chronic disease. Just a matter of time. So don't eat any food, including an oil that has been hydrogenated. That raises your LDL and lowers your HDL. So really important to watch for the trans. These are some sources of trans fats commonly that we are going to eat. Microwave popcorn, and you know, they say it has a Weight Watchers thing on there, so oh, it's healthy. Really, it's better to buy like the kind of popcorn that's already in a bag, or pop it yourself but not in the microwave. And even though it says healthy pop, it doesn't mean it's really healthy. There's a lot of processing and chemicals in there. Of course, it's Girl Scout season, cookies right now, so I know it's, you know, I just heard a commercial on the radio. You're teaching entrepreneurship, and you know, so just maybe do a donation, or you know, if you can buy some and just try not to eat them all, have like one every once in a while, or you know, just try not to eat the whole box. Their boxes are small, and the cookies are so small now too, but I know it's for a great cause, and the Girl Scouts are adorable, and I used to sell them myself, so you know, I know it's important, but try to not have a lot of them. French fries, of course, cookies, donuts, pretzels, all these things are trans fats. Breakfast traditionally has been sugar fest. I don't know why in our country we have really gone to refined carbs. A lot of cereal is really full of sugar, and donuts, you know, pancakes too, even though I like protein pancakes, but pastry, toast, cereal, Pop-Tarts. I swear I grew up on Pop-Tarts. I mean, I loved cinnamon Pop-Tarts. Frosted, those were my main food when I was growing up. I always say Little Debbie was my best friend too. But anyway, I had a really bad sweet tooth. So, and we need fat. We need things for fat. We can have carbs for breakfast, but also fat is important. So fat has saved humans in time of crisis and famine for eons. So important to get your fat, like if you have eggs, you know, the egg yolks have a lot of the good fats in them, a lot of good vitamins and minerals in your egg yolks. And it doesn't matter what time you have breakfast. You can have it at 10 a.m. or at noon. You know, we'll talk about time restricted eating. So you're always going to be fasting. Usually if you sleep at night, you wake up and you know, fast every night. The matter of time is like when you start eating. So you can have eggs at lunch if that's when you're breaking your fast. So it doesn't matter what time. This is a typical American. Gets up, has coffee to wake up. Oh boy, I didn't sleep very good. I need some coffee to wake up. And then they have Dunkin' Donuts drive-through, you know, have the coffee with all the stuff in it, all the sugary flavorings and everything. That's a really big habit, and that's a lot of money spent on that too. Lunch, you know, you have pasta, pizza, chips, you know, somebody brings in food, or you go out and get something just because you're in a hurry, you're working. And then in the afternoon, which isn't even on here, but in the afternoon, like you have a slump, and so, oh, I'm gonna have some chips or a cookie, you know, to help wake me up or whatever. And it doesn't, it makes you more tired. And then a giant dinner, pizza, you know, again, big piece of protein, late night snack because you're tired. You sit down and watch TV, and you have a habit of like snacking while you watch TV because it's just what we do. And then you are exhausted and wonder why you don't have any energy and you don't have time to work out. We had a girl in my program that actually worked at a doctor's office, and the girls that she works with in the afternoon, they would have, you know, like muffins brought in and stuff, and they were trying to get her to eat one, and she's like, no. She goes, I'm eating really healthy and I feel great. She goes, and I don't want to hear you guys complain this afternoon when you feel like crap because you ate that. So I was like, whoa, good for you. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself like that, and you just have to, you know, bring your healthier food and stick to your guns and know that what you're doing is the best thing. And after a while, they might start wanting to do that too. So sugar is addictive, and it's talked about as being maybe worse than cocaine or the same as cocaine. It has the addiction properties. So 185 pounds per person per year of sugar is ingested. It is in so many of your foods that you don't even realize. So the Heart Association recommends daily added sugar to no more than 6 teaspoons for women and 9 teaspoons for men. So if you record your food on MyFitnessPal, it's quite an eye-opener to see how much sugar you're getting, because some of the foods that you don't think of as being of sugar have, actually, like bread has a lot of sugar in it. And most chronic illnesses in the U.S. are largely caused by sugar and from insulin resistance. So soda, similar sugary drinks are the #1 source of sugar in the American diet. So people, drink, they think they're drinking something healthy if they have a super smoothie, yogurt, but you need to look at the label and see how much sugar is in it. Juice, it's always better to have like an orange instead of orange juice, straight up sugar. Gatorade, I'll talk a little bit about electrolytes later too, but Gatorade has a lot of sugar in it. And then of course your Starbucks and all your fancy drinks are really, there's a lot of sugar in those. So these are some common names of sugar. There's a lot more. I heard there's like up to 98, I've heard. So there's a lot of names for it, but if it's like maltose, dextrose, fructose, that's the most common one. There's some that are a little bit better. I mean, sometimes some people will like honey as a more natural one, but maple syrup is more natural. But it all does the same thing. They're all raising your blood sugar and your insulin level. Which one of these do you think has more sugar? The Red Bull or the yogurt? It's fat-free and it's organic and it's blueberry flavor. All that packaging just really kind of throws you off. And it has actually the same sugar content almost in those two items. And then cereals, look at this, Smart Start, antioxidants, lightly sweetened, crunchy oat clusters, so you think it's healthy, and it has it even at the top, energy, vitamin, minerals, whole grains, so you think, oh, this is great. Look at how many things are in this on the ingredient list. Rice is #1, sugar, oat clusters with sugar, high fructose corn syrup, salt, honey, all these things. So it's very processed, and you can think you're getting something healthy and it's not. So really need to be smart about what you're purchasing, because they will market things to make them taste just amazing and trick us and really ruin our health. Very sad. Read your labels. This was something I just had this week. I love this broccoli and kale slaw from Trader Joe's, and a lot of these packaged salad mixes are really great, but it also has dressing in a little dressing packet, and I just usually throw away the dressing packet because it says coleslaw dressing, organic expressed or pressed soybean oil, and soybean oil is not good. Organic dried cane syrup, so that's not another good one too. So it's better, I usually like to use my own dressing, and I have an example of vegan ranch dressing that I use. And if you're in a pinch and that's all you have is that kind of dressing and you want it, it's fine. But if you have a healthier dressing, I would always use a healthier. I even had a gal that would bring her own dressing to restaurants when she'd go out and have salads, because that way she knew what she was getting. And so that's an option. Well, so this is the vegan ranch avocado dressing with avocado oil that's really good, that I like to put in my salads. There's a lot of Primal Kitchen is a great brand. It's very more pure. It has avocado oil as the first ingredient. So, and it has 0 added sugars. So that's a really good thing. Only 1 gram of carb. So that would be my choice. So these are some inflammatory oils that you need to avoid. A lot of these are in your packaged foods, and some of them are, everything else about the food. Like I was having from crackers last night, and they were almond flour crackers, and they were organic, and they have like a lot of seeds and grains in them. But I did notice that they have, I believe it was sunflower oil in them. So, and it's like you can't be perfect, but it's good to be aware of these things. And Avoid PUFA. They're called PUFA for short, but it's polyunsaturated fats. So it's a type of fatty acid. So anyway, they're in a lot of our foods. Of course, you don't want a butter substitute or margarine. You want butter. Real butter is the best. I like Kerrygold myself. But most snacks like protein bars, energy bars, potato chips, even the healthy, veggie thins and a lot of the healthier chips are going to have these oils in them. And so many of the restaurants too. So when you eat out at restaurants, it's pretty common for them to have all these oils in them. You always want to use heat stable fats for cooking, like coconut oil, olive oil, ghee, butter, or tallow. Those are the best options for heating up. If you heat up these kind of oils, they become very toxic. So, and I did see someone said if you go have French fries or something, and when you go home, you should have some vitamin E supplements because those are really a powerful antioxidant. So that would be something you could do to offset the damage that you made from eating out and having the oils. But no one's perfect. So your skin actually, the PUFAs can make you your age of your pigment look like older. So to keep your skin looking pretty, a lot of people spend so much money on. I used to work in the aesthetics industry. All the amount of like lotions and creams and all the cosmetic procedures that people pay for, if they would just like not have PUFAs in their diet and eat more healthy and drink water and instead of soda and a lot of the other things, it would make their skin look so much younger and get their sleep, so but it's just like taking a pill. A lot of people would rather just take a pill than to be healthy. So anyway, your protein is not digested as well when you have a lot of PUFAs. And protein, of course, is so important. I'll be talking about that too more. But you also your liver has to detoxify these oils, and it doesn't detoxify it very well. So that's why after you go to eat out, you may feel like really not very well because you feel sluggish because your liver is trying to detoxify the oils that you had, and it's hard for it to do, so then you feel bad. Some people just feel bad all the time and they don't even know what feeling good is. So when you get to feeling better, you'll go, wow, it feels so great to feel good. So I can't wait for all you guys to be that way if you're not already. But anyway, if you want, it's really important to try to not have a lot of exposure to these if you can. But baby steps, right? Just take a little bit at a time. These are MyFitnessPal. Again, I talked about this last week. So carbs, fats, and proteins are your macros. And, ideally, 1 gram of protein for your ideal body weight. If you want to weigh 125, have 125 grams of protein a day. Another thing, it's more feasible for people, especially when you're first starting. It's hard to get enough protein, but if you have like 3 30-gram protein meals a day, then that was 90 grams, and that's a good start, and then as you start like finding more protein items that you enjoy eating, then it's easier. But to build muscle and as I say, as we get older, we need more protein. So really important to try to up your protein. So this will break down a graph like with your percentages of your macros throughout the day, and I will be talking to you about that too in your appointments. So you can add muscle in the perimenopausal or menopausal years. A lot of the ladies I've been working with are awesome, and they're not so concerned about weight. They want to just add muscle, change body composition. That is where it's at. And you can gain muscle in your perimenopausal years, menopause. Protein is so important. And then getting your hormones in balance, we may need to check hormones. And I'm doing functional medicine, so I'm like doing a lot of that in my certification process. So I can be looking at your hormones. I'm a women's health nurse practitioner too, so that's kind of my specialty. Lift weights, it's so important. Resistance training, cardio is great, but you really need to do weights to build muscle. and change your body composition. You can even do it with body weight, you know, or lighter weights, do more reps. Monitor your carbs. And some people, they think, you know, it's a healthy carb, so they will eat a lot of them. Well, you can't. You really even have to monitor even the healthy ones. So increase your NEAT, which is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So just moving around, not sitting still, repositioning yourself. You know, people that shake their leg, they have like a nervous habit. It might drive you crazy, but they're burning more calories. Get up every hour. You know, if you have a Fitbit or Apple Watch, it tells you to get up every hour and move. Do that. It'll actually help your productivity, make you feel better, get the lymph moving, and you'll do great. And then limit alcohol. Alcohol is a really tough one because it is pretty much a lot of straight sugar. If you have alcohol, I've found from wearing the CGMs, like White Claw and those kind of vodka, seltzer drinks or whatever, don't really do much to your blood sugar. So I always stick with those. I don't drink very much at all, but if I do. The power of protein. Protein is the key nutrient to feed and repair your muscle and damaged cells. So important. As we get older, we need more protein because we're not as efficient at breaking it down and utilizing it. So you want to maximize your muscle health and increase your longevity. You need more muscle, and to do that, you need more protein. Protein is what keeps you full and will help you be satisfied so you don't feel like eating nonstop and snacking all the time and having the things that you know you probably shouldn't. You actually will get some carbs from your protein. For every 100 grams of protein that you eat, your body will generate 60 grams of carbs from that. So you do get a little bit of carbs just even from the protein. So, and when you exercise, it's really important because the more muscle you have, the lower your blood sugar will go. Like even if you go for a walk at night and you feel kind of tired and your blood sugar might be high, if you go for a walk and all the blood glucose will get dispensed through your muscles, and it will lower your blood sugar. So if you can't stop eating at night, it's probably because you didn't eat enough protein during the day. So make sure you're getting the protein. If you get 3 servings of 30 grams of protein, that's great because then you get 90 grams a day, and that will help. But I know it's hard sometimes if you aren't used to eating a lot of protein to get that much, to get like, if you want to weigh 130, to get 130 grams of protein a day. So, you know, at least 90 grams a day is great, but try to build up to it if you are concerned with muscle, wanting more muscle, so, and burning more calories too. If you typically get 4 to 6 ounces of protein per day, that would be like 5 eggs at a time. And like a chicken breast, you know, usually they say about the size of your hand, a palm of your hand is a serving, but you could have a little bit more than that because that would be like 4 ounces. So you could even have more. Sometimes for lunch, I'll just have like 2 cheeseburgers, no buns, and it's really satisfying and it's a great amount of protein, and I am full for hours after that, and it's good. I use some low sugar, no sugar ketchup too. So a good macronutrient breakdown would be 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. But if you are more prone or at risk really for metabolic disease or blood or diabetes type 2, then you may want to go lower on your carbs even. You may be really carb sensitive. So anyway, so time restricted eating is another really great type of eating that I do a lot, and I have really great results. I've had a lot of clients that have really had great results. You need to be a fat burner to be able to do this very well, because if you're a sugar burner, your blood sugar is going up and then down, and then you have to have something to eat, and you can't like fast or wait a while to eat. So, but basically everyone fasts, you know, overnight when we sleep. And it's just a matter of waiting and having your breakfast a little bit later, like we talked about. So the sugars, processed food are not satisfying, and so when you reduce your sugars and eat more fat, more satisfying foods, it's way easier. So be a fat burner, not a sugar burner. So that'll help. You want to concentrate on foods rich in protein, healthy fats, low sugar fruits, you know, your meats, And then it makes you more mindful too. Like, am I really hungry, or am I just like, eating because it's 10 a.m. and I always have my 10 a.m. snack after breakfast, and so it's better every time you eat, your blood sugar goes up, and so that means your insulin goes up. So then it makes it harder to lose weight and harder to gain muscle, and your blood sugar is just trying to regulate. But if you are fasting, your body can like take over other, like, oh wow, let's work on immune function. It also, when you're fasting, it increases your HGH, human growth hormone, so that helps your skin and your hair and your muscles and everything too. So you can drink water, tea, black coffee without all the everything added to it, and electrolytes. And I will talk about some electrolytes, but and then limit snacking is another thing that you're full when you eat. Like, I eat between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. and after I eat lunch, I mean, I don't even feel like snacking for a long time. So it is a great way to monitor your food intake, and you still need to eat the amount of calories you normally do, but you just do it during a window. So it decreases inflammation by fasting. Inflammation is the root of all disease, so really important to keep your foods anti-inflammatory and to do fasting. That will help. It stabilizes your blood sugar. If you have a CGM, it'll stay so steady, and it feels really, my head feels more clear, and I can think better and everything. Weight loss, of course, mental clarity. Your heart, it's good for your heart. It helps you sleep better. We are not made to eat every 2 hours. We have meetings at work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They'll have muffins and cookies, and it's like, we just had lunch, and it's just our culture to eat all the time. We celebrate, we have food. So anyway, it allows your body to detox and work on other things, like I said. So fasting, the cavemen did not sit down and eat every couple hours. They ate when they killed a buffalo. And they survived, and they were more active. They walked and they ran, and so intermittent fasting is just a great lifestyle, and it's something that I've been able to really implement. And when you start, maybe just start at like 1-2 days a week and see how you feel. And it's something you gradually can work up to do it. I do it most days. But if I wake up and I'm starving, I'll eat. It's not that big of a deal. But anyway, it's a great tool to use in the toolbox. Electrolytes, super important too. They are tiny particles your body needs to keep your cells hydrated and work. So, but you do need to drink a lot of water while you're fasting so you don't get dehydrated. It helps you stay full. It helps bring all these nutrients to your cells. So by having electrolytes. When you're sweating, you lose electrolytes, so it's important to replace them with some electrolytes. So make sure there's no sugar in your electrolytes. Some of them might have, like some of the Gatorade and stuff has sugar and different flavoring and stuff in it. And it will also help with your cravings when you're fasting. So they come from what you eat and drink. Of course, this is a Pedialyte ad, but they balance the fluid in your body. They maintain your blood's pH, and they carry signals to empower your muscles. So you want to have strong muscles. You need to have some electrolytes on board and stay hydrated. So this one, Pedialyte, has sodium, potassium, and chloride. Well, the one that I like is on the next slide. Relight is a really great one. It has sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium, and magnesium. So many people are short in calcium, and so I like that I get more calcium from this drink, and magnesium. Like most everyone is low in magnesium, so you get extra magnesium. It's really important to prevent the brain fog and muscle cramps, and helps you sleep better and everything, and also with constipation. And then potassium, of course, is really important. So like avocados are a good source of potassium too, but you're going to have heart palpitation, muscle cramps, excessive thirst if you have low potassium. And then sodium, of course, if you have headaches, it might be just your electrolytes are out of balance. And so drinking water and getting some, you can even put salt in your water, and you might be tired. A lot of people are tired. They might just be low in sodium because we're so programmed that salt is bad, salt is bad. So anyway, and as you're doing low carb and fasting, it's really important to replace your sodium. And I have a discount if you want to try the Redmond the ancient sea salt, and the Relight is really a great, because I don't want anybody fasting and then like passing out or getting too depleted. So I just think it's really important to make sure you're getting some good electrolytes. So we do not need to fear salt. We should fear sugar. So the body, your kidneys, can excrete excess sodium, but it can't excrete the sugar. The sugar just goes out to your tissues and makes your blood sugar go up, your insulin go up, and is going to cause some harm to your body, obviously diabetes. So if you have too much sodium, there's no harm. If you have too much sugar, you get heart disease, obesity, and cancer. This is a really great book called The Salt Fix. And it is, we've been taught that salt is bad, but it really, in the realm of things, it is sugar that is bad. So also when you're fasting, I have salt licks. There's Redmond has I feel like I'm a cow licking a salt block, but it does help. Some people will say, I have a craving for sugar all the time, or I have a craving for salt. If you, satisfy your salt, then don't even want the sugar. It's crazy. But anyway, I've always been a sugar lover, so it's really interesting for me, but I'm a believer. So we have a lot of processed food, and they do add a lot of sodium to it, and they also add sugar, and they add a lot of chemicals and everything too. So that is not a good combination. But when you're not eating processed food, you can have salt, just plain salt. So it's really great. Lower insulin by avoiding carbs and replace with fat. So importance to keep insulin low. Why we get sick. This is my favorite book. Dr. Bickman, he says, control carbohydrates, prioritize protein, fill with fat, and watch the clock. Stop eating a couple hours before bed at least, so then your stomach is empty, not starving when you go to bed, but you don't want all your food being digested when you're going to sleep, because you want all your blood to go to your brain and help you with, the metabolic processes that happen in your brain at night, and so you can get some good quality sleep. But so watch the clock with fasting too, time restricted eating. So homework continued from last week. Throw out your crap food. Look at your cupboards. If you don't have it, you won't eat it. Hide it if you have to. Have your husband hide it. Sometimes if you hide it, you know where it's at. It's like me. So anyway, read your labels. Make sure you start exercising. Get your walking in. Start weight training. Brent has workout videos on the Facebook group. You don't need fancy equipment. You can do everything just with body weight. You can have bands or just some dumbbells, minimal equipment. So, and then make sure you're using MyFitnessPal. You got to record your food so we know what you're eating, and you can be accountable there, because otherwise it's hard to know what you've been doing. So anyway, if you've got this, trust me, I know you can do it. I'm so excited for you, and I am honored that I'm able to help you with this. So let me know if you have any questions. I know that was a lot of information, but it's so important. So thank you again, and we'll see you soon.